Hey Google, what is the Google revenue in 2019?
According to Alphabet, in 2019 we again delivered strong revenue growth, with revenues of $162 billion.
Okay, thanks. Hi guys, this is Money Mike. Google is the 5th largest company in the world. It is the #1 visited website on the internet, and YouTube is the 2nd one. It is the company that Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger regret not to invest in the early stage. So could Google become a $2 trillion company, and can we make money of that? Here's what I will talk about in this video. First thing, why do I think that Google could double or triple its revenue in next 5 years? Second, what are the hidden opportunities of Google? And third, why Google is one of the safest stock out there, while at the same time have a great potential. And also, when would be the best time to buy or sell Google stock? So watch till the end, because this is the type of stock that I would buy for, let's say, 10 years. I would put it in a chest and I would lock it and throw the key to the biggest hole in the market. I didn't say black hole, I said biggest hole. So if you're looking for that type of investment where you can forget about this stock and still have a huge upside of 1x, maybe 2x of your investment, then you're on the right place. Let's start easy with how Google makes money and how they can double their revenue in next 5 years. For this part, I have made a scenario to project Google revenue until the year 2025. Before we get to that, let's just quickly go through how Google makes money. You can see that Google makes most of their money from the search, and it has been like that since probably beginning of Google. Search advertising revenues makes up for 61% of all Google revenues. Then we have Google Ad Networks, 13%. This is probably the least interesting category, potentially speaking. But now we are getting to the really interesting part, YouTube and Google Cloud. YouTube makes, as for now, 9% and Google Cloud 6% of the Google revenue. This is where the hidden potential, in my opinion, is. The reason why is because Google Cloud is the fastest growing revenue source in Google's portfolio. It grows 35% every year. 35%, just think about it. And then we have YouTube, one of the most underrated source of revenue at Google, growing 26% every year. I will talk more about YouTube a little bit later. Then of course, let's not forget Google other revenues, which includes its hardware, Play Store, and so on, with 11% of the revenue. Okay, what this all means. This means you cannot look at the Google as a search company. They are much more than that. So I've made this projection just to make it clear. This is projected from 2019 data and not from 2020. Current situation is affecting Google revenues, and it is hard to predict how the situation will go. So I decided to take 2019 numbers. Okay, if Google would keep up growing the way it is growing, which is realistic because they proved it over the past years that they can do it, Google would triple their revenue in 2025 from today. Yes, the 5th largest company in the world, Google could generate half of the $1 trillion in 2025. And YouTube alone would make the same revenue that the Facebook makes today. YouTube has the potential to become the size of the Facebook. This is a slightly optimistic scenario because I took the numbers from 2019 and not from 2020. So what are the hidden opportunities of Google? Unlike Google Cloud, which has a huge competition, if you look at the Google search, it is undeniably without any competition. And YouTube is a very similar with this dominant position in video. I don't think YouTube has any competition or even will have beside the Facebook. Social networks like TikTok are disruptive but really focus on different video formats than YouTube does. What many people are not talking about is the full potential of YouTube. YouTube competes in all of those categories: streaming platforms, music, vlogging, educational videos, TV screen time, and last one is YouTube stories or YouTube short videos. Let's talk about all of them. Streaming platform is and will be a direct competitor to Amazon's Twitch that was acquired by Amazon in 2014 for $1 billion. YouTube music section is and will be a direct competitor to Spotify. Many people still prefer to listening audio or music on YouTube. Do you remember those times when we were talking about the #1 YouTube videos that had 10 million views? I believe it was Justin Bieber. Well, a few years later, it was not 10, but 100 millions. Now we are looking at a 7 billion views. Despacito is going to have soon 10 billion, and we will be on the new record road of 100 billion views. That is just mind-blowing. Then we have vlogging. With vlogging, I believe YouTube is undisputed leader. Educational videos also a leader. TV screen time, something that has nothing to do with the format rather than with the habit of people coming home, turning on TV, and then instead of watching Netflix, some people watch YouTube. That is taking Netflix and any other movie companies a screen time away. People want to watch a new content from people they subscribe to. And guess what? YouTube will suggest another shiny video right at the end to keep you hooked up. And the last hidden potential of Google are YouTube short videos. I wouldn't be surprised if you haven't heard about that. That's because it is really under the radar right now. If you access YouTube from your phone and scroll down a bit, you will see a section of YouTube short videos. What is so interesting about it is that many people actually post their TikTok videos there. I believe Google is preparing its ground for this format. This made me believe that YouTube actually is a direct competitor to TikTok, but it is not the other way around. TikTok is not a competitor to a Google. I hope that makes sense. Is Google safe investment? In the terms of Google losing money or going down completely from the list of top 10 net worth companies, I see Google has the lowest possibility. It is a completely online business with connection to the real world, so you don't have to worry about that much about the physical world. If there is any short-term problem with this company, you can look at the balance sheet and see that Google is sitting on just crazy cash. It is $120 billion. Is there a threat from companies like TikTok? I don't think so for Google. Companies like TikTok are somewhat viral apps in the entertainment industry, but Google focuses on products that mainly bring value. If you think about TikTok, it was successful because creating content was easy. You can upload only a 30-second video, but creating content for YouTube takes much more effort. You cannot create a fast-growing video platform that will suddenly have all these videos that took so much effort for creators. On new platform, you would have to motivate creators to make these long videos. I know it from myself. This video took hours, if not days, but I enjoy making them. By the way, if you don't want to miss any new video, hit the subscribe button and then you should be good. So let me just say that there is nothing viral or interesting about search. Young people will not suddenly make viral app that searches differently. Search is about effectivity. Simply as that, it is not entertainment, it is a practical thing. And Google tried to apply this on YouTube search as well. Does Google have a sustainable business? Google search will have no competition ever. As an expert on this field, I feel pretty confident to say this statement. I've been doing online marketing for 16 years. The money I actually used to invest, I've earned in online business. So long story short, I know a lot about Google search and ads. And I have to say the business model is just beautiful. The best thing about it, is that it's not going anywhere. It is completely sustainable, in my opinion. Google is the most effective channel for most of the businesses that I know. Facebook is, by the way, right behind Google if we talk about ad effectiveness. So I have no doubt that there is not a company that will ever replace Google at search. And more I believe Google will dominate the video industry as well. When will be a good time to buy Google? Obviously in March, lows was a great time because that time this stock was clearly undervalued. This is where I bought my first shares of Google. And now I would like to buy more. But I don't think it will come down to $1,100 levels. What we could expect price-wise of the stock from the future. There is in the process antitrust law that Google has to defend its position against the government. We might expect some really shocking moves from the government, and this might cause volatility of this stock. And that is a good thing for new investors. Another fact that could influence the price would be Democrats winning the election, because they are the ones that push antitrust law changes. The lawsuit basically says that Google is being a monopoly, and yes, that's exactly what it is. And this is what I love about this stock so much. Can they prove it? Maybe. Can they do something about it? I don't think so. Maybe let's say, few $billion fee, which is obviously nothing for Google. Google growth is definitely slowing down, especially in 2020. This situation, as many companies cut their expenditure on online marketing, it is just a hard time. This is where the market might be disappointed from a near future of Google revenue performance. So in the short term, there is not really much going on for Google, but for me, this is a great news and I'll be looking to buy more shares. That is for sure. Google is a special company. I would say one of the kind. Hit the subscribe if you want to see more content like this. See you guys next time. Bye.